Hello, Simi Burn here, branding expert with Prospology. We're going to look at this bio makeover. Before and after, our team of experts helped this freelance medical writer to establish their personal brand and write a bio that really shows who they are. So, a lot of times with freelance medical writers, they've got a lot of experience, clinical experience, research experience, education, and it can be tempting to kind of want to fit that all into our bio. But the thing is that if there's not a coherent story and if it doesn't make clear what this person is about, then it's difficult to follow. And people probably don't read to the end of it and then still don't get a sense of who you are. So let's see what we did with this bio. Here's the before version. And right from the beginning, it's starting out pretty generic. It's saying my journey as a freelance medical writer with a focus on oncology and urology is a story of evolution driven by a desire to make a difference in the world of healthcare. So kind of a test that we apply to some of these things. If that can be true for pretty much any medical writer, then don't put it in there. Put the things that are specific and unique to you. We really want to be drawn into the story, and we'll see how that unfolds in the after version. So, and then this person talks about their inspiration coming from their mother's health struggle, but the story is still very surface level. You really don't have a sense of why this would instill a profound commitment to patient welfare and what that has to do with medical writing. So then now we've transitioned to a PhD in the second paragraph and hospital settings, which is a very vague statement. We're not sure what that really means. But then with these experiences, they still wanted a career that was intellectually stimulating and had a meaningful impact. So not really sure why that didn't already have intellectual stimulation and a meaningful impact, or what we're getting to yet. We're still really not at the medical writing part of life. So then the pivotal moment came when they joined a literature surveillance team within a medical communications agency. But I'm not really sure what the moment was. I thought we were going to hear something exciting, but then it's just kind of like, this is the work that I did. But then it just this, yet as time passed, I yearned for greater diversity. So we said I yearned up here, and then I yearned again, and still kind of from a negative framing of what they were doing, which I thought sounded pretty within medical writing. So not really sure what that is. And it's kind of losing all the steam that we might have had when we started reading it. And then again, kind of ending with some generic information at the end of this second to last paragraph. And then the final call to action, where it's just, something that any medical writer could say. So now we're going to look at the after version. So this is after we worked with this student through, I think, about a dozen rounds of revisions and, multiple experts helping them to really get to the heart of why they're doing this and their story. So there's a lot of inner work that has to be done there. And sometimes that can be like the most rewarding part of the journey, but also something that's easy to neglect when we're just trying to focus on the goal, but it's so incredibly important. So let's see how this starts now. Instead of a kind of generic statement that could apply to just about any medical writer, we're already drawn in because they're saying they're drawn in. They began medical writing at age 12. So you're already thinking, what does that even mean? Why is a 12-year-old doing that? And then we have a furious scribbling in the Barbie notebook. We have a scene in the hospital about being youngest in the family, and still the family was depending on them to translate the medical jargon for their mom's test results and their medical problems. So now we understand more about the mom's health story, and it's still about the same amount of words, but so much more impact because we're really drawing into a vivid visual scene that we can imagine those specific details and what that might have felt like and why that would compel this person to pursue their PhD. So that's the segue into the next paragraph. And rather than just saying, I got a PhD, but that wasn't for me, we used the details from there. After one rat dissection, I realized a life of bench work wasn't for me. So it's an exciting, kind of interesting detail that's very relatable and gives a lot more life and personality. So you understand, like, okay, this is somebody who wasn't bored by PhD. They just didn't want to do bench work, but then got very excited about medical writing and realizing that that was their calling. So now oh, okay, this person really loves what they're doing. And that's really clear from the Barbie notebook days all the way through. And then transitioning from urology to oncology was seamless. And then they segue really nicely into this medcoms agency role, a little bit more specific detail, or quite a bit more specific detail that gives a sense of what types of projects this person is experienced on working on, and what was exciting about it, and tying back to that Barbie notebook story. So you get so much more information. And by the end of this paragraph, you know that this is somebody who loves what they're doing and is the best at it, and knows it. So they're not talking about it like, I didn't like this, and so I yearned for more, so then I did this, and now I'm hoping to be a medical writer, was kind of the feeling that I was getting from the first bio. Even though they didn't come out and say it, it did sound that way. Now it's like so much more powerful and vivid and clear, and you can follow the story all the way through. And then the final paragraph: nowadays, I create rigorously researched content to help oncologists, urologists, and key opinion leaders to make science-backed decisions in healthcare. So much more specific. And so I love how the details in this story, I think this is a really great example of a bio where you're naturally working in details to showcase who you are and what you do, but working them into the story so they don't kind of drown the reader into a bunch of kind of generic fluff with non-specific details. Instead, we've got a whole story that follows all the way through, and that really clearly shows what this person is about.